Hey guys, and welcome to my review of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Time to don your top hat and carry a cane, because it's time to join the Rooks. First of all, let's get down to what all you guys want to know. Is it Unity just reskinned and put in London? Are the glitches game breaking? Is it shit? Well, to be honest, no, and definitely no. In fact, this game is a massive improvement over the disappointment of how Unity turned out. Let's get this review started. This new installment in the Assassin's Creed franchise follows twin assassins, Jacob and Evie Fry, who are sick of being restricted to the areas surrounding London, thereby disobeying orders, and goes to London, meets up with an Indian assassin named Henry Green. The Fry twins start a gang called the Rooks to take down Templar control from the bottom up, and meets historical figures like Alexander Graham Bell, Sergeant Freddie Aberline, Charles Dickens, and Charles Darwin. The story throws many plot twists and humour with a great cast of characters. Immediately you notice the interactions of Jacob and Evie being funny and typical brother and sister relationship. The game focuses on this, with Jacob being the younger brother who charges in without thinking and leaves a storm in his wake. Evie, as the older sister, needing to clean up after her brother while looking for the piece of Eden. As well as these interactions, I particularly like the interactions between the twins and the historical figures presented in the game, especially the interactions between Jacob and Frederick Aberline, simply because of it being witty and laugh out loud funny at times. It's basically a relationship similar to Sherlock Holmes and Lestrade, and this is highlighted from the first moment they meet and only gets better throughout the game. The other notable interactions would be between the twins and Alexander Graham Bell. Jacob always being amazed at Bell's brilliant new toys, and Evie being an eager to help and somewhat flirty dialogue to the very Scottish and very charming Alexander Graham Bell. And also the interactions with Evie and Charles Dickens especially. It may be a part of a side mission, but I felt as it was worth of a mention. They seem to be quite the intellectual equals in regard to solving the supernatural mysteries of London town with the Ghost Club. The gameplay is roughly based upon what was done with Unity and was improved, and had taken cues from the older games such as Black Flag and even the Ezio trilogy. The combat shows new views and focuses on things that were actually in the series for quite a while, but Ubisoft chose to forget that it even existed before because of Unity. The presence and use of weapons such as brass knuckles, cane swords, and kokuris. The reason for uses of these weapons are due to the fact that in Victorian London, if you're found carrying a massive sword on your side, you would most likely get arrested, so it all had to be concealed. This seemed very much accurate and feels like it belongs in the setting. The combat does feel a bit button mashy, but truly has some strategy and takes a bit to master. The parkour down and parkour up feature in Unity is still here, but has received more polish, and getting into windows is much easier, as it was much more difficult in Unity, as you would constantly keep jumping around the window. There's a new feature introduced by Alexander Graham Bell, which is the rope launcher. The rope launcher is about as silly as you think, but listen, it's surprisingly fun and a great tool for this installment. It allows you to navigate across the wide streets of London and zip up buildings fast. This adds to the navigation pillar. Before I played this, I was very skeptical about it, but once you use it, the best way I can explain it, it's basically a winch from the front of a car shrunken down, and instead of them fighting against it and pulling, they basically work with it and they kick themselves up the wall to make it move faster. Another thing I'd like to talk about is driving. You can drive carriages now as an option in this game. To be honest, it's just mindless fun. It feels like a horse and carriage should in a video game, due to the handling and everything. This means that it's somewhat difficult to drive at times, but at least you can do sweet drifts in the streets of London. The most fun I had in this was during the black box missions, which have been improved and perfected over Unity, with having a scenario given to you, but it's your choice to how you would like to undertake it. Even though I would have liked to have done more of these as Evie, but conceptual wise it makes sense because Jacob is obsessed with killing Templars, when Evie is just like, there's more important shit to do than killing Templars, Jacob. The backdrop of Victorian London is perfectly recognised and even beautiful. I myself was blown away from the visuals of the River Thames to the Tower of Big Ben and the marvellous view it shows of the smoking chimneys in the distance. Basically, the detail that Ubisoft Quebec has gone to fully demonstrates the majesty of Victorian London. Every now and again there is pop-in, but not to the extent of it being as bad as Unity. I also would like to mention that when you go over the River Thames and you jump on the boxes, the camera shakes a bit when you're like jumping on the boats, and I thought that was a really nice touch, and it made it very immersive when you're running across the River Thames. When it comes to the sound, from the voices of the British, Scottish and Irish accents, they are brilliant and fit with the setting perfectly. Both Victoria Atkins and Paul Amos have done a fantastic job with the voice acting of the characters and have really brought them to life. The music was fitting. I like the subtle touches of adding different folk songs of the time for some parts of the score, especially when you walk into different parts of the city. However, the music, though it was fitting, didn't exactly reach the point of it being memorable. There are times when a song hits the moment perfectly, but here the music isn't enough to make me listen to it outside of the actual game. Before I conclude this review, there are a few things I would like to discuss in regards to this game, and I may be hinting at things that occur during the story, and so I warned you, possible spoilers ahead. At the beginning of the game, you start in Croydon and meet their master assassin George. They run off after they do their assassination, and from here you don't hear anything from them for the rest of the game. This doesn't exactly make sense. I would have liked to see more of the landscape orally during the first two sequences and learn more about these characters, plus George has an awesome outfit. Also, coming out of Unity, where customization was a thing even though it did get tiresome after a while. This may sound silly, but I would have liked to change my top hat out for a bowler hat or even a sleuth hat and be a Sherlock assassin, but was restricted to the top hat as Jacob. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the modern day. Yes, it's here, but yet again, it's restricted to cutscenes, and which is a disappointment. Due to the point that nothing happens in these scenes until the closing moments of the game, and based upon that, they can't get away with another half-assed cutscene story in the next installments. They need to focus on a new playable character during the modern day to help Sean and Rebecca in the field, as well as the historical time periods. Most definitely there will be more, and I just would like them not to keep moving forward and just go back in time to see the Vikings or even King Arthur or even Egypt. We need a bit of a time period change, because if Ubisoft says that history is their playground, then why don't they go back in time? Based on what I have been saying in this review, Syndicate is definitely worth your time. If you are a fan of the series, definitely worth your time if you're a fan of the series. If you haven't played an AC game before this, I'd suggest giving it a try and make up your own opinion based on what you've played. But if you weren't a fan before this will not change your mind. And yeah, it's an Assassin's Creed game at heart, and I can't wait to see where it goes next in the franchise. I'll give this 9.8 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like and subscribe for future reviews and more random discussions on video games and books, and which are coming soon. Just a quick shout out to my mates at the Oz Initiates Network. We are like-minded assassins looking to discuss each other's opinions on the series and express ideas and the latest news on the Assassin's Creed franchise. Feel free to join in the link in the description below. Have a good one. Have a great day. See you later.